Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you're absolutely in love with the New York Knicks like I am, I recommend clicking that red subscribe button down below and lighting up that post notification bell so you do not miss any future content on this channel. So in today's video, it's going to be the New York Knicks wrapped in or tied in with something broad NBA going on or that went down. A couple days ago, a big-time blockbuster trade went down of a 3-team deal. And ironically, all three of these teams are small market clubs of the Milwaukee Bucks, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Phoenix Suns. The Suns obviously dealing DeAndre Ayton over the Portland Trail Blazers. The Bucks trading away a Jrue Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers. In this 3-team deal, the Milwaukee Bucks managed to get Damian Lillard. The Suns managed to get Nurkic, Grayson Allen, a couple athletic bodies. This was a huge trade that really impacted the Eastern and Western Conference. Damian Lillard not being in the Western Conference anymore. Damian Lillard now being with the Milwaukee Bucks. As a Knicks fan, I absolutely hate because yes, Damian Lillard is 33 years old, but he just averaged 32 points per game. He could shoot from distance. He is a nightmare. And when it comes to dribble handoffs with Giannis Antetokounmpo, this is going to freaking suck. You still have defensive studs. I understand they're getting older and the bench may not be as good, but this does help the New York Knicks in a way if they are interested in a Jrue Holiday. Well, Brian Windhorst was actually on ESPN today talking about how this does benefit teams in the Eastern Conference because it's not going to be harder to get a Jrue Holiday now because he's in the Western Conference. Not like the Portland Trail Blazers GM or any member of their staff really has beef with the New York Knicks of trading with a Leon Rose unless they get really stingy or something when it comes to the deal. While, for example, if the New York Knicks were really interested in a Jrue Holiday beforehand, it was going to be tough because obviously they're in the same conference as us. The Bucks would be like, why would we want to trade with the New York Knicks and make them better? They shocked some people making it to the second round. You had a defensive player, one of the best teammates and human beings in the game, tough as nails. Why would we put him over there? And at the same time, the Bucks are a win now mode basketball team, so they would be wanting to get a win now mode player, probably with some draft capital. So it would definitely be tougher. While you take a look at the Portland Trail Blazers, they don't have their win now mode players, but they're looking towards the future. They're looking to build a longevity, consistent winner. They just had the 3rd overall pick, selected point guard Scoot Henderson. Anthony Simons at the 2, Shaedon Sharpe at the 3. They have promising young players. It's not the players. They need to get more reps and gain more experience. They're not focused on that. They're focused on draft compensation. That's what Brian Windhorst said. And some names he threw out there that are probably or possibly interested in Jrue Holiday or are. He said the New York Knicks, he said the Miami Heat, he said some teams in the Eastern Conference. It will be on the screen. Well, it's a tricky situation with Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday is a stud basketball player. I absolutely love his game. The knock on him is he is 33 years old. So is there going to be this big time decrease in production in a couple years? He's 33, but he just came off of a season of averaging 19 points per game, 7.4 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 37% from 3. He's one of the best teammates in the league. Like, you never hear anything bad about Jrue Holiday. He's had adversity go on in his life, just fights right through it. This dude is an absolute stud. One of the best human beings. He plays the game very patient, gets others involved. I love the way Jrue Holiday plays the game of basketball. He's scrappy defensively. Seems like this quiet, introverted dude, but when he's on the court, he's an absolute warrior. Well, the reason why I'm saying it's tricky here, you have Jalen Brunson, who's not getting any younger. He's not like 24 years old and below. He's not a very young player, but he's obviously in his prime. So the Knicks are in a position you want to win as much as possible. You have freaking Jalen Brunson, who just had an amazing year with the New York Knicks. He showed he's the real deal. Absolute stud, even in big-time losses. Or in a big-time loss, 41 points in Game 6 with no help from RJ or Julius Randle. No one else stepping up down the stretch. Obviously, had the big turnover. Got to hold him accountable there. But, you just can't. This dude put the New York Knicks on his back. This wouldn't have even been a second-round playoff team if it wasn't for Jalen Brunson. So Brunson's amazing. He proved he's the real deal. You want to get him help, but you also don't want to diminish the future and rush the process and give up a young player that you may be high on. It really comes down to how high are the New York Knicks on a Quinton Grimes. Again, you want to look towards the future, but you don't want to mess around at the same time. The whole purpose is to win in this league. So how high are the New York Knicks on Quinton Grimes? How high are they on him? Quinton Grimes, no-show offensively in the playoffs, was a stud defensively. Didn't get tons of touches in the playoffs, but when he did get the ball, he kind of looked scared with it. Yes, we have kind of an ancient offense. There's not tons of movement. When there is movement, it seems like it's just like communication by the players, not set design plays. Like Josh Hart being there just helps because he's a natural cutter, from the Villanova days playing with a Jay Wright. So Grimes is going to be a knockdown shooter in this league. Will it be on the big stage? We'll see what happens. He's still a young player. He's literally just his second year in the league. He's a good defender. He's younger than Jrue Holiday. Better athlete at this point in his career compared like Jrue Holiday. It's not Philly days anymore. It's not him in a Kentucky Wildcat uniform. And Grimes, he has shown signs of shot creation. So it really comes down to how much the New York Knicks really love Grimes. But it's also a position here that the Trailblazers are probably going to be asking for draft compensation. They may not ask for a Grimes, but I feel like we're going to have to give up some type of player. You would think maybe, yes, Brian Windhorst said draft compensation, but we do have these protected draft picks. I don't know how much the Bucks value those. We do own our own first-round draft pick in 2024. Would you be willing to give that up? Because if you get Holiday, he's instantly probably going to be your best defensive player. It obviously comes down to what players you give up that could affect your depth. But would you say we have too many guards if that goes on to happen as well? Because we would have Josh Hart, unless you play him like small ball 4, quickly off the bench, Grimes. Like, you would have a good amount of guards on this roster. You have Holiday, you have Brunson. But, yeah, you look at Holiday, just great communicator, great facilitator, great human being, great teammate. He has come up with momentum changing steals. And because Jrue Holiday is such a great defensive player, I feel like his scoring ability kind of gets covered up a little bit. He's been a damn near 20 point per game scorer the last few years in his career, and he can score the ball in a bunch of different ways. He's very patient when it comes to running the offense, so utilizing screens, cool, calm, and collected to knock down that mid-range jumper. He's 6'5", but he's built very strong, so he can finish with physicality at the basket. Kind of a unorthodox or old school guard, a little like a Brunson as well, that you'll see him post up and look to finish in the inside or shoot a little turnaround mid-range jumper. He uses that step back 3, so he's definitely not someone that's going to come over to the New York Knicks and average 25 a game, especially with Brunson here and Randall here, but he does have the ability to score the basketball, and he's just a fearless player that plays with tons of patience, tons of confidence. He could struggle all game and hit a big-time 3. I remember Jrue Holiday playing the New York Knicks this past season, and the Knicks are going on this run. Holiday struggling all game, and then he hits a huge step back 3. But Holiday being able to score the basketball and facilitate could open up so much for an RJ Barrett, for a Julius Randle, is adding another score. Like, he's a scorer, but also a facilitator. He's a facilitator and defensive player that has the ability to score, so it's just an extra added layer. He doesn't consistently need the ball to be successful as an offensive player because he's so smart and because he is so unselfish. Defensively and the facilitating could definitely help out Jalen Brunson. But is it risky to trade for a 33-year-old? Again, it depends how much you're giving up. But he helps his team. He really does, no doubt about it. He's a physical freak, but his efficiency does dip in the playoffs. That's the scary part. When you acquire Jrue Holiday, he has had a theme in the playoffs that he'll have a game possibly. He's still going to have his assists. He'll probably have 8 assists, 5 rebounds. He'll have 13 points, but he'll probably be on like 40% shooting, 30% from 3. Not great efficiency. But then he'll bounce back with a great game, and then he'll kind of go down again. Great game. But his presence defensively, him being a great teammate, definitely helps things out. We don't have a Giannis on this team, so it's definitely a totally different situation. We don't have a Chris Middleton that they had, like Chris Middleton that can close games. Giannis that can close games as well, so there's a little less pressure on a Holiday. So you do have to take a look at that, because you look at Jrue Holiday in the 2023 playoffs in the first round versus Miami in those 5 games, played 38 minutes per game. He still managed to average 17.8 points per game because he's a physical body. He could still get in the paint and finish. He averaged 8 assists, 6.6 rebounds, still finds a way to facilitate, which still helps the offense, which takes pressure off of Brunson. Brunson's a score-first guard. You have Holiday that could distribute. That could be big time for the New York Knicks defensively as well. Helps out Holiday. Yeah, he took 17 shots a game, 40% from the field. Not great. Only shot 28.6% from 3 on 8 attempts. So the Knicks could be looking at that like, yeah, Holiday's great defender, good passer. Grimes probably never going to average 8 assists in a playoff series. But if you really take important, or you think like floor spacing is really important, like I do, especially when it comes to this team, like you think Grimes could shoot over 28% from 3 in the future in the playoffs, which I'd hope so, then it's like maybe you keep Grimes around because yes, Holiday's really good at these other things, but he still managed to average 17.8 points per game. So it's really tricky when it comes to the efficiency. Went to the line only 2 times per game, 69%. In the 2022 playoffs, 19 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Shot 37.9% from the field. Those overall playoffs, 19.6 attempts from the overall field. Shot 84% from the free throw line, got there 3 times per game. On 6 3-point attempts, 31%. Is it the shot diet? Is he taking too many threes? The year they won the championship, he averaged 17.3 points in the playoffs, 8.7 assists. He's a great passer, 5.7 rebounds, 39 minutes, and he shot 40% from the field, had 30% from three. Like, that's the thing. He still managed to average 17 points, 19 points, 17 points, like those last 3 years in the playoffs. It comes down to the efficiency, though. But there's also context. Is he hitting those big shots? Is he making big plays? And he has shown that he can make big plays. But I want you guys to let me know down below in the comment section, how much do you value Grimes? How good do you think Grimes can be? Do you think he could be a very good starter and you're like, F that, I'm not trading away Grimes? Or do you think we can get Holiday without, trading away a Grimes? Or do you not want Holiday at all? You think he's too old? I think he would complement this team very well. He's the same height as Grimes, not like you're getting any shorter, even though I do think we need some more size on this team. But he's a physical guy. He could teach RJ some things when it comes to finishing, more like efficiently, consistently, figuring out angles, because he's a very smart basketball player. And possible rotations, Josh Hart and Jrue Holiday defensively would be very fun to watch. Hartenstein brings tons of physicality, and he brings some anger defensively. And you take a look at Jrue Holiday's contract, if you are wondering. So he did sign a massive contract in 2021, 4-year, $134 million contract. This upcoming season, he's going to be making $34 million. And then he's a player option that he has a player option that he could pick up or decline to be a free agent. So if the New York Knicks looked at it, they're like, yeah, he's making $34 million in 2023. Obviously, hopefully we move on from the Fournier contract. He makes things work with the cap. And hopefully, if we do it, hopefully we don't give up a lot for a Holiday. And would you guys be down for a 1-year rental? Or you're like, no, we're making sure, like, if he declines that player option, we're still paying him. But I wouldn't be paying him a lot if he declines that player option, because he's 33 years old. He's not getting any better, in my opinion. Or maybe he's just, he's a great teammate, and he picks up that $37 million, which is a good amount of money, $3 million more than this upcoming season. But he's an unrestricted free agent, set to be in 2025, so maybe he'll just wait for that. But I like Holiday. He's gonna kind of be up and down the playoffs, but he's gonna make some momentum-changing plays. But if there is another shot creator, I want them to hit their big-time shots. Like, Brunson's the only one I can consistently count on right now in the starting lineup. RJ figured it out until Game 6, but he's gonna have to get better when it comes to down the wire, especially in even higher pressure situations. Randall, obviously Grimes is going to have to grow. Josh Hart hit some big threes, but he did more than he should have. Like, he was in a role especially when it came to Game 1 and Game 2 in Cleveland, or especially Game 1 when RJ wasn't stepping up quickly. Quickly's another guy that needs to step up. I don't know if we're paying him or we're going to wait and we're going to ride with him on that option. But it's just so big time for us to have shot creators that can, like, hit shots, be that big time shot maker. And I'm tired of us having these guys that can create, but they're not knocking down these shots. But would you guys trade for Jrue Holiday? How much would you be willing to give up? How much more does he make this team? Like, how much better does he make this team? Would we have the upside of the Eastern Conference Finals? Something like that? Or what are your expectations? Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.